Hey, gorgeous people. Welcome to the First Take Flight Friday. I have made a commitment various times over the last couple of months to do a Facebook Live, to start doing this. And it hasn't happened, but today it is happening, and I decided the best place to begin would be by talking about commitment. We're actually doing commitment this week in the incubator, which is one of the programs that I run. But I also run Gap Year, which you might have heard about as well, and it's a module in that. And it seems funny that I would always, I guess, focus on commitment as one of the things that is really important to getting stuff done. But ultimately, commitment starts with you. Now, we all want commitment. If I'm talking to the women out there, it's like our feminine energy is so wired for commitment because we're centered in security that if we don't have commitment, say, in a relationship, we're going to be constantly testing our partner to try and make sure that he is committed or that we're safe, basically. But the same thing can happen in your business or with whatever it is that you're doing. If you're not like 100% committed to your dream or the thing that you really want, then it's not going to happen. And there's different reasons why we don't commit to stuff, but ultimately one is usually starts in the place of where you don't feel valued enough or valuable enough or worthy enough in yourself to commit to yourself. And then after that, once you actually start to realize that you are valuable and you are worthy of commitment, then we tend to get fearful about how much we can put ourselves out there and fearful about being too much in the world. And so then we often sabotage ourselves by not doing enough of the things that we should be doing. So commitment itself, it can start with the words, like me saying, I'm going to start doing Facebook Lives. But ultimately, it ends with the action that you take around that. So until I actually did a Facebook Live, I wasn't 100% committed to it. The way that I got committed to it was to get some graphics made up, and then one of the ways I honor commitment is I make commitments to other people. So I told people that it was happening, and I let people know that they could come along and see this, and then other people who couldn't make it, that it would be recorded and they would have the opportunity to have it later. And my commitment, therefore, to others got me in line with myself. Now, I'm very others motivated, right? So that makes it easy for me to kind of get other people, get my commitment to others to motivate me to do the things that I want, because then I can be very focused on the fact that I've made a promise that I need to deliver on. When you're others motivated, though, one of the things you can also do is be really, really good at committing to others in everything, and not so good at committing to yourself. And I was speaking about this in Q&A yesterday, where I talked about the fact that I'm very rarely late for client appointments, and I'll always show up for a Q&A, and I will make an effort to reschedule things or let people know exactly what's going on. But I tend to always be late for the hairdresser. And that's, I know, disrespectful to the hairdresser and the value of because my friend owns a business too, and it's awesome. But it's actually that awareness around when it's something for myself. Often my commitment is a hard thing to be able to do with that. So your results, so what's actually happening in your life, is actually the result of your commitment to yourself, first of all, but to the things that it is that you really want. So you can say you want something. So as an example, in a marriage, you can actually have a marriage ceremony, and during that time say some words to each other about what you're going to do in sickness and in health, and all of the beautiful things that you might say in that ceremony. But if you're not taking small, consistent actions every day in your relationship to back up that commitment, the marriage isn't going to work, right? Ultimately, you might not break up, but a separation starts to exist between you around that. So basically, your results, or what's happening in your life now, is actually because of the actions that you're taking. And the actions that you're taking, the small actions that you're taking every day in your life, are actually guided by your commitment. Because even if you say you're not very good at commitment, and some of us acknowledge that, and I have a lot of people say, oh, I'm terrible at commitment, I get freaked out about commitment. But you're always actually committing to something. It just might not be the thing that you say you want. So I'll just give you an example. Some people say that they want to lose weight or that they want to exercise more. And so then they set their alarm and they don't get up at the alarm. And they're like, it's really hard for me to commit to that. You know, it's cold. There's various reasons why I can't do that. It's hard. I feel embarrassed to go to the gym. But they're actually really committing to the opposite of what they want. Yeah, by their actions, by the not getting up, by the not scheduling stuff in, by the not making it happen, they're actually committing to stay where they are. They're committing to not looking after their health or the concern that they might have with their weight or their energy levels. They're not actually committing to changing that and doing anything about that. They're committing to things staying as they are. I and many of the women that I work with are very committed to staying busy. And we may say that we don't want to be busy and that we're overwhelmed and that we don't want that in our lives, but unless we're taking regular, consistent, small actions to get our support systems in place, to not overschedule things, to not do too much in our lives, unless we're actually prepared to do that, then really we're actually just committed to staying busy. So I want you to think about, in the context of your own life, how commitment is showing up. So in terms of the results that you're getting, and if we are just focusing on relationships, for example, if you are in a relationship with someone, how's your commitment going to that relationship? Are you choosing to be happy or to be right in that relationship? Are you consistently doing stuff with each other and making time for each other so that you can connect? Are you consistently doing small actions, small loving actions to the person that you love and that you're in a relationship with to show them that you're there, that you're like 100% there? Because commitment can't come in at any other level. You can't be 95% committed to something, to a relationship. You can't be 95% committed to your dream. Because for those of you who've done that or who've tried that, you know the result of that. Ultimately, it doesn't work. And you don't end up getting what you want because you're not 100% focused on committing to and being the person that you want to be and showing up in the way that you need to show up. When it comes to relationships, I always imagined that I wanted a committed relationship. But often what I did was settle for things that I didn't really love in relationships because I was so fearful of being alone that I thought there wasn't space, I guess, for me to ask for what I wanted. And I spent a lot of time in the relationship that kind of preceded gap year, and that was a 4-year relationship. And I chose to make that about being a committed relationship when there were a lot of things that were going on in that relationship that actually didn't reflect the commitment that I thought I had. And ultimately, often we do a lot of things in our lives to settle for or make it okay or convince ourselves that the situation that we're in is okay when we want something more than that. And once you're 100% committed to getting that, so if you want a fantastic relationship with either the person that you are currently with, then you're going to have to start taking some small, consistent actions for and towards those people. And if you're not in a relationship, then there's a place to start with commitment, because if you really ultimately want a committed relationship, if you really want a person who treats you in the way that you deserve to be treated, you need to start by committing to yourself first. You need to do this in an existing relationship as well, because ultimately the person that you need to love and the person that you need to cherish and the person that you need to treat with respect is you. Because if you start in that place, then you can get the relationship that you want. There's so much more that I could talk about with commitment. We spoke yesterday a lot in Q&A about about the results that you're getting and how that really is leads into what your commitment actually is in your life. So what I'd love you to think about as a result of just listening to this and getting a sense about what commitment is, I want you to actually think about what you're really committed to. And if you're not getting what you want in life or love or relationships, then what actions have you been taking or not taking that you need to change and do something about? And if the truth is that you should start with yourself, then what 3 things can you do this week to commit to you? I'd love to know how you go with that. So let me know. You can let me know in the comments. You can send me a message. I will be back on again next week and I'll be talking about distractions. Can't wait to see you then. Bye. Oh, and just one more thing, because I've done this in a very sort of proper way. I had to be really committed to doing this because I've got kids home sick from school today and we've had a bit of a crazy week. But just to end my live, I just want to show you something really cool that my really sick daughter did this morning. Can you see that? Yeah. She made the alphabet out of pretzels. That's commitment right there. She's pretty committed to staying home, and I must say she did seem quite sick this morning, but she's not as bad as I thought she was. Have a beautiful day. Do something for you. Commit to you today. Bye.